Hi, also just a quick video to finish off what I didn't get to cover in the training earlier. So going back to embedding the survey onto your web page with the popover, as I mentioned before, this is embedded within the web page and they actually need to interact with it in order to continue. So in this case, it won't be possible to like embed that into anything. It's just going to pop up on the page and overlay everything and just display it in a custom position on your page. So if you are just going to be embedding this into a specific section of your page, it will be necessary to use the HTML option, creative option. But like I say, the difference is that if you were to embed this using just a custom HTML script, um, similar to what you were talking about earlier towards the end of the training, it would be necessary to contact your IT team in order to, ask them to actually run this on the page and actually get them to embed that piece of code that you've given them onto the page. Whereas with this, and that's fine, but if you need to change it, then you need to go back to the IT team and ask them to change out the link that it links to. So basically, you're just avoiding having to go back each time if this is something that's going to be changing by doing this through Site Intercept. So the way to do this is you build in your creatives area that HTML element, whatever you actually want to display in that area on the page. Then what you can do is you don't need to have a div element to attach it to, but you can do this if you want. There's two different ways basically. So just going back to a creative, and I'm just going to go back to a HTML creative and just show you. The first option to do it is to just set a custom positioning. So I'm just in a custom HTML. I'm going into change options in my creatives area. And in here, we can set our custom positioning. So we can fix this to a page so that it actually like stays there. It doesn't move as you scroll up and down. And this is where you set exactly where, and you can set your X offset. So like say, for example, 60px, but that will need you to actually do a bit of testing then and running the code and the bookmarklet to see exactly where that displays. And if you need to change it, just kind of tweak it using here. The other option then is in the intercept area itself. If we choose our custom HTML creative type to be the creative to show, when we click into the action set options and into advanced options, there's a couple of new options that are in here that's specific to embedded or to custom HTML creatives. But the main one down the bottom here is creative insertion point. So if you enter the ID of the HTML element, so if your web team do create a div, like just a box down the bottom of the page on each page that you need to, and just give it an ID name, all you need to do is just enter the HTML ID of that box in here, and your creative will always display within that box. So that's probably the simplest way to do it. Once you have that saved, that's actually applied to the action set, not just to the specific creative. So if you want to change out this custom HTML at any stage, all you need to do is just change the creative that displays here. So just build a new creative with the content you want, then come back in here, go to custom HTML and choose a different HTML creative to display. So I have two in here, so I'm just going to change it to that. And that is still attached to the same HTML ID that you have inserted in here, so it will stay within the same area on your web page. So I hope that clarifies a little bit, but please do let me know if you have any further questions on this. I've sent on the link to that test survey we put together earlier, so you can try doing this with the just the embedded code as you previously mentioned. But hopefully this might be a viable alternative as well in future if you need to change out the content of your website quite often.